Funeral ceremony is underway for Iran's late President Ebrahim Raisi in the northern city of Tabriz. He died in a helicopter crash on Sunday, along with the foreign minister and 7 others. These are the live pictures in Tabriz right now. Tens of thousands of people are gathering to pay their respects. It's the second of 5 days of national mourning announced by Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. Raisi's body will be laid to rest in his hometown of Mashhad. That will be on Thursday. Let's go live to the Iranian capital. Al Jazeera's Resul Serdar is standing by. Al Jazeera, I beg your pardon, Resul, as we are watching these live pictures in Tabriz, could you describe for us the mood in the country? Obviously, there's an outpouring of grief in Tabriz. The president also had his critics. So how is it possible to sum up how the country feels right now?
Well, it's quite a tragic event that happened, a tragic incident that happened in the country. So that was definitely not expected. So President himself relatively was a young figure, 63 years old, and many people were expecting him to be re-elected in the presidential election that was scheduled to the next year. And even many people viewed him as a likely successor to the supreme leader. On the other hand, the foreign minister, Hussein Amir Abdullahian, also was a very well-known, well-established figure in the country. And then suddenly, both of them, with many of others, they have died in a tragic event, in a tragic crash. So the mood in general in the country is quite mournful in that sense. So the head of the government, the top diplomat, they are gone. But on the other hand, Ebrahim Raisi was a conservative politician. He was very well popular among the conservative segments of society and also the establishment. On the other hand, the reformists and some of the people who were supporting the reformists were quite unhappy about his policies. We have seen that in 2022, the protests that have erupted over the hijab laws, that was one of the signs of that the people were not happy with many of his policies as well. So it's quite mixed. However, as I said, he has died in a very tragic incident, and the general mood in Iran is quite mournful at that time. And you will see in several cities, thousands of people are gathering, still praying, and also thousands are now at the moment gathering at his funeral.
Resul, the authorities have announced an investigation into the circumstances and the causes of this helicopter crash. What do we know about that?
Well, they say that they have initiated a profound investigation. So primarily, they are focusing on the harsh weather conditions, the extreme weather conditions. So it was that day, it was quite rainy, it was windy, and also foggy, heavily cloudy as well. So then the question is for many people is, didn't they check the weather forecast? So, and one day before that, so a warning was issued that in the region the floods were expected. On the other hand, they are focusing on the technical side of the helicopter as well. It was quite an old helicopter, was bought by Iran before the Islamic Revolution in 1979. So it was an old helicopter, and they're focusing on the technical issues as well. Now the question arises again. So an old helicopter, taking president to such an old helicopter and taking him into such harsh weather conditions, why? And also, for now, after the crash, they could not get the signals from the helicopter for hours and hours. So that's also another question. But one thing is clear here. Iranian was focusing on the weather conditions, the challenging terrain, and the technicalities of the helicopter. However, so far, they haven't embraced any of conspiracy theories or a possibility of the sabotage. That's not being talked in the country.
Okay, well, that's really interesting. But you raised some really fair and stark questions. Why was an old helicopter carrying the president through what was known to be terrible weather over mountainous terrain? So still, all of these are still open questions. Resul Serdar, thank you so much for your reporting out of Tehran.